thought what we do is pretty much like I said last week. We'd make our players available to our press, and also announce that Sheldon White has been hired as Director of Player Development. I think he'll do an outstanding job. There's obviously a press release on that, but Sheldon comes with a wealth of NFL experience, and he has great attention to detail. We've elevated Mark Staten to assistant head coach. Harlan Barnett will be associate head coach. But I just felt like Mark has done a lot of things in the community, and he's been one of those guys that I've been with for 14 years. And in the transition period in recruiting, he picked up that gauntlet again and did an outstanding job. And I just think that that it's warranted. Got some other guys coming into our program as well. We're having a mini camp this week with our incoming freshmen in, so they'll be here for 1 week and then come back on July the 5th as well, and start taking their session of summer school. But we wanted to get them in here so they're getting physicals and transitioning to what we're going on. And then we've also done a lot of things in the community with our players, with the Lansing Promise. So our players have been out there. I think we've hit every elementary school here in Lansing, and just trying to make our way in that area as well. So I'll just take some questions.
Other than the recruiting responsibilities, has Mark's role changed at all with Texas?
He'll be our offensive line coach, and you know, our entire staff, you know, they're working with each other, and so he's got a lot of input in that. But I think the main thing is I felt like we still want his hands to be kept in the recruiting area as well. So he sort of serves with that title, and then he's done a lot of different things outside of the football realm in the community, and talks throughout the state and things of that nature. And I just felt like now was the time to make that move.
Mark, what did you see in Sheldon White? I mean, obviously he doesn't have a recruiting background given he's in football, but what did you see in him that made you think that role was right for him?
You know, Sheldon came here last year sort of as a consultant after he left the Lions, and so I've gotten to know him for a year. Great attention to detail. Obviously, he's been in the league. He's played in the league. He's also been a scout in the NFL, and then also a front office person. So I think he knows things from top to bottom. He gives us a great person to bounce things off of, especially in terms of player development and player expertise and things of that nature. And he's a great person, attention to detail. His son was already committed to coming here, so it wasn't a conflict or anything like that. But this also gives him an opportunity to be a part of Michigan State.
Get a little update on a couple of guys.
Sure.
Tyson Smith, in particular his situation, and also LaShawn.
Yeah, I know Tyson tweeted out his situation. So we're going to see where that takes us. You know, so I have my concerns about whether he's able to play again or not. But that's an ongoing process. Certainly, he's been a good player for us and everything like that. But I don't want to really speak to his medical situation. So, but we'll see what happens.
And LaShawn, is he in camp? And
LaShawn was unable to come right now, so he's still on the mend a little bit, but he should be here July 5th.
And just Vance and Copeland wasn't on the roster too. Is he still part of the program?
No, he's not. You know, there's certain things you got to be able to make as you process yourself through from junior to senior and things of that nature. So we wish Viante the best, but he's not going to be able to be here.
But things you have to make, is it football related or academic related?
You know, I really can't speak to that. You know, I don't think that's fair for me to speak to that. You know, Viante's done a great job here. He was not thrown off this football team, so I wish him the best, and I just can't. You know, sort of hands are tied on it.
Are you able to address Cassius Pete's situation?
It's unfortunate what was written, I can say that. You know, I think we've been in contact with Cassius throughout the semester, and but there's certain things that you got to be able to get done before you can come back. So, you know, it's one of those things. But I don't want to speak bad about anybody.
Is there a chance he does come at all?
No, not this fall.
Is there any update with Demetrius Cooper or with?
That's an ongoing process. I'm going to have to see. I have not made a final decision on that, but I've talked at length about that. But I just have not made the final decision, and he's paying the consequences. He's been out for 6 months, but I have not made that decision yet. So that's forthcoming shortly.
Is that your decision exclusively, or would you make that with your Eagles, Mark?
I'm going to confer with people, but I'm going to make that decision.
What was the last couple of days to get back on the field like after?
It's been good. You know, it's been good. And our players have been good, and I'm excited about our football team. Very excited about our incoming freshmen, and having our full team sit there today in a team meeting room, because we lost a lot of seniors. All of a sudden the meeting room gets filled up again, and so you have a little bit of it's going to be exciting. It'll be exciting for us. We got a couple guys who aren't here, as I think Shakur Brown is not here. He's finishing up a class, and then LaShawn, as you said, and I think one other guy, Nelson.
With those guys that have gone out from the program, what have you told some of maybe the younger guys that now have opportunities in front of them?
Well, there's no question we don't have a senior-laden team. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not so good, so we'll find out. But I think it gives other people an opportunity to grow in their leadership area. I look at Joe Bocci, for example, and he was a freshman last year, and he's taken great steps to grow as a leader. He's definitely one of our leaders. He's just one of the guys. So it presents opportunities for other players to get involved in that process, and allows them to maybe, when I look back and I say 2009, well, Kirk Cousins was a captain in 2009 as a redshirt sophomore. And you see what he did with that. So there's got to be an opportunity, and sometimes you need a little bit of space up there to have that opportunity. So I think it's a good thing.
Will you keep doing the captain process as you do it, player picked entirely and things like that?
Yeah, I think this is just my feeling that our players, our captains have to lead our players, and they should be player voted. So we'll do that, and we've done a lot of things, unique things, I think, in that area to try and put a spotlight on, hey, what does your teammate think about you as a person, as a player, as a student? So we're going to continue to do that.
With Justin Lee, how do you spend the next couple months or you're going into camp? What will his role be?
We worked in both sides of the ball this spring to try and give him a foundation offensively. He had that foundation initially, and then he was moved to defense, so it's been back and forth. But I think right now you got to look at him as a defensive player. But he has the ability to go over there and play it. But we have to be careful not to overload him.
The guys that have come in, the new freshmen coming in, do you have to tell them anything different, or do you show them what happened last year and say, we got a lot of freshmen that can play, you can get on the field?
Well, I think that what we've tried to constantly do is educate our players in all aspects of college, whether it's on the field or off the field, and we're going to continue to do that, and we're going to look at certain areas that we got to do better at, and try and improve on those areas. That's what we'll always try and do. But I like our football team. We've got a lot of good young people here. I had the opportunity to go to Magic's, the Lansing Promise thing. I don't know if some of you might have been there. And I thought that was a unique opportunity to get our players involved. So you see who the player is when they go out among young people, and that's exciting to see. So had an opportunity to share their time with young people in the Lansing area, and I think that can only benefit them and us.
Can you give any update on LJ Scott? Is he going full go now?
He's going full go now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's healthy. He'll be ready to go.
Mark, how do you get back to the team chemistry that you guys had 2 years ago and in the past?
Well, I think anytime you have things that go on in your program, you got to regroup, and that's everybody's responsibility. So that's what we'll do. We've had those situations before, and we'll regroup and drive forward, put our foot in the ground and plan it and drive forward.
With the new recruiting rules, I guess can you speak to them a little, because we really haven't talked to you much about them, and then just, I guess, how that works with Mark's new title.
You're talking about there's quite a few different rules, but you have the early signing. I think that's probably the biggest thing. There's a lot of different changes in terms of how freshmen are able to come in here now. There's no two-a-days, there's 1 day off. We come to camp a week earlier. So there's a lot of different things in that regard. You can bring players in now before they are actually in school academically. So we have our mini camp this week where we're trying to hit every aspect of that a player would experience, and this physicals, the equipment obviously, but the things off the field as well. Different people coming in and talking to them about different things. So it's an ongoing process, and as far as the rules, I think that Mark's kept up. All of our coaches have stayed up on top of that, and we've had Brad Salem be recruiting coordinator in the past, and then obviously Mark Staten as well. So I think Mark took off with it, and he's done a great job.
The changes to the calendar and the rules in terms of starting a week earlier and then 2 days, how different a fall camp is that? Does it make it more or less of a grind, the length of time?
I think we got to be innovative in that. We may do some different things relative to not putting the hammer down that first week, taking our time a little bit, sort of transitioning to full camp mode. I think we need to do that because it's going to be a 4-week camp. It's 4 weeks before we play a football game. But I think it'll benefit us because we do have a young football team.
Do you have the start date yet for when?
I think it's the 30th or 31st. They'll come in on that Sunday. I'm not sure that's the 30th or 31st.
Do you expect any more changes to the roster after the three
Well, I
guys
don't
that
expect
will-
any. Okay, but no, I don't expect it.
You obviously probably have some spots. Is there anything you do to fill those between now and camp, or probably
Yeah, you guys put it out there. We got a couple spots. Okay, we got a couple of initials left and things like that, but we've got some very good guys that are coming out here, non-scholarship players. We got some good players coming in here, so it'll be interesting to watch how they compete for those situations.
Anything else, Coach
good.
Dantonio?
That's good. Thank you.